Hi, kids. Since school gets back in tomorrow and all, I figured I'd throw in some math. There's some numbers on the screen or on the board, and I'm going to explain them to you. This is tea. Drinking tea. And there's some Coca-Cola here. So, I've had this discussion before about whether or not the league has more parity since the cap came in. My statement has been no. Not really. Because the bigger spending teams are still the bigger spending teams. So I went on a mission tonight, wherever you are, to look for salaries. And when you look for salaries present day, all you find is cap. And I'm like, no, I don't want to look at the cap. I want to look at the actual salaries. What are teams actually spending? I don't want to talk about dead cap space. I want to look at what Chris Pronger made. I want to look at the actual salaries per team. Because there's a revealing stat in here. Now, the last year before they imposed the salary cap was 2004. That's where this chart comes in on the left side. All of the numbers in blue are from that year. Top spending teams were teams like Detroit, out in the second round, Calgary. Calgary only had a $35 million payroll. Detroit had a $77.8 million payroll. The Rangers had a $77 million payroll, couldn't do squat with it. Tampa Bay won the Stanley Cup, and I had forgotten. They had a lot of guys on cheap contracts. $33.5 million cap. Tampa, $33.5 million. Calgary, $35.2 million. $68 million between the two of them. They were paying less to both teams than Detroit or the Rangers were paying for their teams altogether. Isn't that something? Isn't that fun? Another interesting little stat here is the Phoenix Coyotes, and they were Phoenix at the time, they were not Arizona, were paying $37.8 million. Now they're paying $49.6. Now they're dead last in the NHL. Back then they were in the lower third. It hasn't changed. You look at the big spenders this past season. Chicago paid $81.9 million to get swept in the first round. The Washington Capitals paid $80.8 million. So when you look up at Pittsburgh, well, they paid $79.5. Yeah, an extra $1 million gets you out to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Vancouver Canucks payroll, salary, $69 million. They spent $700,000 less than Toronto. More than Tampa. $100,000 less than San Jose. Way more than Jersey. More than Nashville. Pure salaries. That $12 million in salary went over to Montreal when they picked up Suter. Knocks them up to $74.1 million. Bruins are at $69.2. Buffalo and Calgary at $69. Carolina, $56 million. And they were at $37.8 going into the lockout. And I've said for a long time that I don't buy into the idea that if your team has a higher payroll, you necessarily put a better product on the ice. These salaries came directly from the NHLPA website. This is the 16-17. This is after all the bonuses are put in. This is what each team paid in salary. And you look, you got Anaheim 78.8. They made the playoffs. Atlanta / Winnipeg 69.2. No. Boston 69.2. Yes. Buffalo 69. No. Calgary 69. Yes. Carolina's 56. No. Chicago's 81. Yes. Swept in the first round. Colorado $67.1 million. They paid $800,000 less than Nashville. Dead last in the league. Columbus $66.4 million. Absolutely made the playoffs. So even though Columbus was in a bad cap space situation, they weren't in a bad salary situation. Dallas, $78.7 million, misses the playoffs. Detroit, $77.3, misses the playoffs. Edmonton, $59.9, they make it. Florida, $62.9, nope. LA, $74.9, nope. Minnesota, $70.8, yes. Montreal, $74.1, yes. Nashville, $67.9, yes. New Jersey's $55 million, no. Islanders, $74 million, no. Rangers, $73 million, absolutely. Ottawa 73, yes. Philly 71, no. Phoenix / Arizona 49, no. Pittsburgh 79.5, back-to-back Stanley Cups. San Jose 69.1. Yep, they made it. St. Louis 77.1. Yep. Tampa Bay 67.7. No. Toronto 69.7. Absolutely. Vancouver 69 million. No. Washington's 80.8. They made it, but for $80.8 million, you expect a little more than what they got in the playoffs. Now, the interesting thing is, in the 12 seasons before the salary cap, you had 7 different Stanley Cup champions. In the 12 seasons since the salary cap came in, 7 different Stanley Cup champions. You had Carolina, Anaheim, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Boston, LA, and then Chicago, LA, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. Chicago, 81.9 million, LA 74.9 million, Pittsburgh 79.5 million. They pay more because they won Stanley Cups. The reality is parity may exist somewhat in the regular season, but in the postseason, it's exactly the same as it was before the lockout. Like I said, the last year, in before the lockout, you've got Tampa winning over Calgary. The year before that, you had Jersey. Jersey was never a huge spender. They won the Stanley Cup. Before that, Detroit, big spender. Colorado, New Jersey, nope. Dallas, Detroit, Colorado, New Jersey, Rangers, and Montreal. The key really has always been smart money. Where's the smart money? Tampa was smart. Jersey was always smart with their money. You want how much? Sorry, Mr. Holik, you're not worth that much. Good day. The Rangers said, oh, we'll pay it. We'll pay him whatever he wants. And crashed and burned, and they were spending $30 million more than New Jersey Devils were. The thing that gets me is going into the cap era, the NHL was losing money. Remember, they told us that. The league average for salary and payroll, $44 million. There's no team now making anywhere near that. Closest you get is the Arizona Coyotes at $49.6 million. Ticket prices have gone through the roof. The price of buying NHL memorabilia has gone through the roof. And we all blame Bettman because Bettman's a lightning rod. And I get that. But players charge money for signatures. Players know how much their jerseys are. Players aren't complaining and crying and saying, oh, we should make jerseys cheaper so that kid up there can buy one. That kid up there, his parents need to be able to buy him that jersey. And damn it, we're going to go on strike to make sure he gets it. When's the last time the players went on strike saying we want less money? Both sides want more money. That's what all the lockouts are about. And this is something to keep in mind because the salary cap gives you the illusion. It is an illusion. The top paying team, $81.9 million. That's their salary. The lowest paid team is Arizona, $49.6 million. In a salary cap era, Phoenix and Chicago were much closer. Let's go to Cap Friendly. Let's go to Cap Friendly and see where they stand right now in terms of salary. In terms of salary cap. So right now, in terms of salary cap, the Chicago Blackhawks are over it. They have $75 million, 34. Of course, we all know Hosa's coming off. And Arizona shows as at the bottom with $56 million. But we know there's going to be a drop of that when you look at the actual salary. So I think the idea of parity is fine and dandy. I think it's a great idea. But honestly, do we want all 31 teams to be in the same situation? No. No. You're going to have rebuilders who spend too much money. You're going to have teams at the top that aren't spending as much as other teams around them, namely like Nashville. Boston's actually got a good salary situation. Calgary does too for last season. I'm not looking at 17-18. But the funny thing is, these numbers are going to keep going up because players want them to go up. So like I said, the next time there's a round of negotiations and we all want to get mad at Gary Bettman, just remember, players want this to go up. Players voted for the escalator. Oh yeah, no, we want that to go up. We think revenues are going to go up. Where do the revenues come from? Fans. Sponsors. It's not like the players put into the kitty and say, oh, well, we'll pay ourselves. That's why I respect sports like tennis, golf, and even to some extent poker. When guys are putting in 20 grand of their own money to enter a tournament, I respect the hell out of that. That's fantastic. I pay my own money to get in with the idea that maybe I'll win more and maybe I'll lose. Tennis, you don't play well, you don't get paid. Golf, you don't play well, you don't get paid. Hockey, doesn't matter. You sign a 5-year, $30 million contract and you suck, it's fine. We'll just pay you out. Here's $20 million. Go away. I got $20 million. And then a week later, another team calls you. Hey, do you want $8 million more? We'll pay you to come play for us for 4 years for $2 million each. Oh, I don't know if I can sacrifice. Wait a minute. I just got $20 million. Yeah, I can do that. And that money comes from the fans. So this is why when people talk about the salary cap and how important it is, and oh God, we have to keep it. New Jersey's only spending $7 million more in 2016-17 than they were paying the last year before the cap. Smart money is more important than more money. Smart money is more important than everybody spending the same. Because the truth is that if New Jersey and Arizona spent to the cap, if their salaries were in the $80 million range, they're both out of business. If Florida was forced to go from that $62.9 million to $81 million, they're done. So you play with the books a bit, you make sure you make the cap floor, and you go from there. Well, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments section below. By all means, tell me why I'm wrong. This is 2003, 2004, and up here you have 16, 17. So I'll go ahead and write that up here. So it's 2003, 2004 versus 2016, 2017. And that league average is way above $44 million per team. Remember, the NHL was doing this for you in 2004, 2005. This is for cost certainty. We want our fans to have certainty, and we want everybody to be on the same playing field. That's why Arizona, $49 million, Pittsburgh, $79 million. Because $30 million in difference in pay is completely different than the difference between, I don't know, Pittsburgh down here was 26.6 because they sucked. And New York Rangers at $77 million, but they weren't much better. They weren't. Throwing big money at all the free agents doesn't work. It never did. You have to spend money on the right free agents, get the right players. In closing, the thing that bothers me most about the change from this side of the ledger to this side you had hockey trades. This side you have cap trades. This side you had trades all season, culminating with a pretty active trade deadline. This side of the ledger, you almost never have a hockey trade. And your trades are all either at the deadline, the draft, or right before free agency. You might have one or two during July and August, but honestly, the action's going to be in a very, very small window. To me, I enjoyed this league more. I get why people defend the cap, but look at the amount of money teams are making now compared to 13 years ago. It's a lot. The amount they're spending is a lot. And it's going to continue going this way. 10 years from now, it'll be $100 million for teams. And fans get to pay for it. Let me know what you guys think. Again, as I said, hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through the internet and you came upon this gigantic wall of numbers and letters. And you're wondering why this guy cares. Well, I did a video on the 2004 Tampa Bay Lightning, the last team to win a championship before the salary cap. Now's a good time to talk about the salary cap. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.